Hello, I didn't see you there. I was just reading my novel on Charles Lindbergh. Charles Lindbergh made a very historic flight in 1927. But, first, just a year before, he had to start out as a mail pilot.
Mail call!
Not a very fun job. He might have thought so, but it doesn't sound very interesting. When he made this flight, he was only 25 years old. The flight took place in 1927. On May 19th of 1927, there was bad weather broadcast. May 20th, Charles Lindbergh was very excited because he heard a good weather broadcast for the days of his flight. Woohoo! Finally started the flight on Long Island, New York. His plane, of course, called the Spirit of St. Louis because of his representatives in St. Louis who paid for the plane, which the plane costed $10,580. The reason for this flight, of course, was a $25,000 reward, which would be given to the first male pilot or female to go across the entire Atlantic Ocean, either from the U.S. to France or from France to the U.S. At times during his flight, Charles came within feet of the Atlantic Ocean waves. He actually had conversations with nearby fishermen, but he'd usually just get signals back because he was standing to speak, or they just didn't know English. Do you guys know which way is north? Thank you. He was actually close to France, was a fishing boat just a few miles off course. Finally, he entered France. When he entered France, he circled the Eiffel Tower, and there was very, very many people there, about 10,000. He was pulled out of the plane by the police so he could get to safety, and was rewarded with the $25,000 reward. His flight had lasted 33 hours, 30 minutes, and 28.9 seconds. It was far, 3,610 miles. Amazing. Charles had gone without sleep for 55 hours straight. I mean, I can't even believe that. The longest a person's gone without sleep is just a few more hours than that. He almost set the record. It was crazy. Back in St. Louis, he was awarded with a parade in his honor. Thank you all. After all the parading and celebrating, he went to work for the Navy and went on 50 combat missions. Now, Charles's plane is in the National Air and Space Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. To me, he's the greatest pilot that ever lived. Thank you for enjoying the brief documentary of my flight. Charles, you need to come back to the past with me, so we can show the whole world that lived back then this documentary. You may be asking, they didn't have cameras back then. Where we're going, we don't need cameras.